How is
Yeah.
everyone in the chat?
Look, Brian, we opened
Um,
the season with a 2-2 draw against Brentford. What did you make of the
yeah.
performance, and is that a good result for you?
Well, but bear in mind, you've got to remember Brentford's first two home games in the Premier League in their two seasons, they beat Arsenal 2-0 and beat Manchester United 4-0. So they're a mean place to go to on the first game. And the draw, I'll take it. The performance was good. The performance was good. A couple of things that concern me, but all in all, the performances were good in the way we played football. I mean, at one point they showed in the second half we had 81% possession. I don't think we had 81% possession in 3 games last season combined. Combined. Um, it was so refreshing to see, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was good it was good to see Tottenham playing possession-based football, looking to dominate and pen the opposition in, and that was definitely the case for large parts of the game. We did though struggle to create good quality chances, didn't we? And is that something that you feel is going to come with time?
I do. I mean, I love some of the play between Basuma and Maddison. Basuma, like you said, he was magnificent today. Absolutely magnificent. I mean, when they showed his stats after Alan Smith gave him man of the match, first, he was brilliant. And the play that we signed from Brighton, the chances will come. Like you said, like Nick was saying, defensively, they've got to get new to a new system. And we have to attacking wise as well. And you mentioned Son, who was poor. I think Kulu was non-existent. Non-existent. And that's a concern for me. It's a concern.
I would agree with you about in the first half. I thought Kulu was growing an influence in the second half and was much more involved. And I think Son was rightly taken off in that second half, to be honest. He didn't look comfortable on the wing whatsoever. And that has to be a bit of a concern because in pre-season it was the same. He didn't really look comfortable out in that position. And he's asked to do something which I don't believe is his best asset. He's asked to dribble past players consistently and create chances from the wing. Well, I think his best asset is getting in goal-scoring positions and his finishing ability. So I think that is something maybe with time Ange will look at.
Well, you're right, Tim. But also, the thing you mentioned as well with Son is he's captain. He's not easily droppable now, is he? He's kind of he's the captain of the club. But look, we've now you've got Perisic, you've got Solomon, and you've got Porro who could do it. So there are options there, and good options at that. So hopefully, Postecoglou won't be afraid to use them. But I have to say, everyone's raving about Basuma, and rightly so. But I tell you what, and I tweeted about it, and you mentioned him, Destiny Adoje, or Adogi, however you want to pronounce his name. What a player we have on our. He was superb today. Superb.
Yeah, you're right, Brian. And I think it was. You know, we were all sitting there and we were thinking, oh, are we going to go with Ben Davis on the left, left back? Are we going to, we're not going to try Mickey van der Ven. And Ange was brave and put them both in. And, Mickey van der Ven as well, who's not been there for, he's been here 5 minutes. I thought they both had really good games and really encouraging.
Well, Mickey van der Ven, Nick, more than anyone, my love for Jan Vertonghen. My love for that man is strong. And I'll tell you what, I think I might be getting a Mickey van der Ven man crush in the coming season because he was very, very unfortunate with the deflection for the second goal that they scored, and we were a little bit easier down the flanks at times. But yeah, I think he's looking like he'll be a solid player. And like you said, Ange was very, very. He went for it, didn't he? He didn't just sit back and relax or go, right, we'll take it easy. It's my first game. He was like, right, we're going to set out and do this from the start. And we did. I've got to say, before I forget, one of the best things I saw in the entire game happened even before kickoff. And I don't know if it was Ange or Sonny that did it. But when they run over to the away fans before the game kicked off and clapping them and then did the huddle there, whoever did that, genius, masterstroke. I thought that was absolutely brilliant. But yeah, there are a few other things. Like I said, Richie, you're talking about. He needs time. He does need time, but we haven't got time to give. We've got rid of Kane. We need someone. Whether you move Son up there, whether it's Gift Orban comes in, whether you go and spend more on a striker. He works tirelessly, and you can't take that away from Richarlison. There's just a couple of opportunities he's had, especially right at the end, where I think it was the ball was played through and he took it on and he should have shot first time and he and then it got blocked. But hopefully it will come. But I don't know how much longer we can say, right, we're going to keep going and keep going and keep going. When you've lost Kane and 30 goals, we need a striker.
Yeah, you're right, Brian. And I think that the thing that Ange's, obviously we asked that question, Ange said he didn't, obviously about Richie and, he was his work rate and everything else. So it doesn't look like we're going to suddenly see a massive change and we're going to see Sonny on that left wing, driving down that left wing, which is, yeah, I mean, look, I don't think he's, in terms of his best position, I'd much rather, I think we would have agreed that we'd much rather those chances fell to Sonny today rather than Richie. But it looks like it's we're going to keep trying this. We're not going to suddenly suddenly just change it Sonny up top. So we're going to have. It's going to be interesting to see what happens because obviously, yeah, like you said, he's the captain. He's not going to get dropped. But I think he would be, and we would be more effective with him down the middle.
Let me ask you two a question on that. Then, do you think? And I was thinking it during the game. To get him more involved, like you could see what Maddison was trying to do, and also how refreshing was it to see a number 10 going to take a free kick and knowing it will get to its destination.
Mm-hmm.
That was the one good thing. Maddison's free kick was brilliant. You can see what Maddison was doing and trying to get him in the game. This is where I keep thinking that Porro, Solomon, and Perisic might be able to offer better service to Richarlison by going wide and getting the balls into him. Rather than this all coming in, I don't know what you guys think on that.
Yeah, I think who are we talking about? Son.
Yeah, no, I'm saying about with Richarlison going up front,
yeah,
and not being used because our wingers like to cut in and then try and shoot and do that. I think one of the other, like the three that we mentioned that could go there instead, might get better service to Richarlison.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with that. I think a big problem with Son and Kulusevski out wide is the fact that neither of them, they're not like, Kulusevski has a good cross on, but he's always, because he's inverted, he's always going on the inside. Son is I don't think that's his speciality. I think he's more of a player who likes to score and get in the goal scoring positions. That's where I see his best attributes. So I think having someone like Perisic out wide, if we can get crosses from him, that would definitely be a better situation for Richarlison. I kind of agree with that. What did you make of the goalkeeper's performance? Come under, I guess, a bit of criticism. Some people say he played quite well. He was doing a lot of sweeper keeping and coming out of his box. Some people say he looked dodgy with the ball at his feet. What did you make of his performance?
You two both know how I feel with the goalkeeper bad at their feet. I have heart attacks, and I didn't think I was going to. From what I saw of Vicario in previous, I didn't think I was going to get the Lloris effect. Not saying that I will constantly. His distribution at some points in this game today scared the hell out of me, and some of his coming out and sweeper keeping was right on the money. But there was a couple of very rash moments. But you got to remember, this is his first Premier League game. I will remember, and people of my age will remember when Eric Torsvet had his first game in the first division for Spurs. He played Nottingham Forest, and someone had a shot. I can't remember who scored, and he caught it, and it slipped through his hands and went straight in, and we lost that game. But he went on to be an absolutely incredible keeper for us. We've got to give these keepers time. It was rash. He couldn't do anything with either goals, could he? One was a penalty, went the other way, and the other one, the deflection, was from Mickey van der Ven. So you can't fault him for the goals. I just think he needs to once he's got his settled defence as well and everything is all calmed down, I think we'll see a lot better version of him. But his distribution did concern me a little.
So, what did you think of that penalty? By the way, do you think it was right for VAR to? Do you think it was right for VAR to get involved in that?
I'll put it this way, and I'll see what you guys think of it, and everyone in the chat. I think it was soft, but we all know if that was happening to Richarlison up front and we don't get a penalty, we're all going to start raving mad.
I'm not disagreeing it was a penalty, but is that a penalty that VAR should be getting involved in for you? For me, it was just too soft. It was just, for me, when I saw it, when I was watching it with Ryan, and he was going, that's a penalty, like before we'd seen the replay. I was like, oh, come on, do me a favour. Then when they started replaying it, you could see why it went to VAR, but I think it is too soft. What did you guys think? I think it was a penalty. I think Son fouled him, but I think we've seen more blatant penalties, like waved away from VAR before. So if we're going for like consistency, like clear and obvious and all that, I don't think VAR should have got involved with that. I think that was just it was too soft a penalty for VAR to go back to tell the referee to go back to the screen. In my opinion, I thought it was a bit soft.
I think as well, it was a bit of an overreaction from the player as well, wasn't it? Like
yeah, look, Brian. I think again, it's the question is over VAR, right? So what should have happened is the moment that happened, it should have been stop, go and look at the screen, and it's the speed of the decision, because they let play carry on, like they did against Manchester City when we got that. You know, they had that penalty. It went on for like 2.5 minutes. It wasn't as long, but it's the efficiency, I guess, of VAR and the process, which is again coming into question, right? And they're two for me. Look, for me, I think it's a stonewall penalty. When you I know when you slow it down and everything else, but he's literally kicked his ankles. Yes, the reaction didn't help, but look, all players are doing that these days. They're doing that reaction to make it look worse than it maybe it would have been. I think maybe if that was someone else, they may have tried and stay on their feet, right? But the moment people are getting clips at the moment, they're throwing their arms up in the air, they're rolling around, they're holding their face when they get kicked in the leg, and I think that's the real issue.
Yeah. You know what, Nick? You could be right. Like I said, if it had happened on the other side, it was happening to us, I'd probably be on here going stonewall penalties. You're probably right. But you talk about the timing for VAR. They took an eternity for Romero as well again, didn't they? That one was it took an eternity. They've got to work the speed out. But also talking to Romero, another thing that really, really impressed me with Postecoglou was getting him off immediately. Like you were reading, Simeon, before. I mean, it was very, very early in the game. You could see that as soon as he celebrated the goal, he didn't want to go off. Mm-hmm. But Postecoglou was like, I ain't taking no chances, come off. But it just goes to show the need for that other centre-back, doesn't it? Yeah. Because like you said, Davinson Sanchez was a little bit... Don't get me wrong, Sanchez did some very good things. There was a couple of great blocks in there. Joe, it's when he's on the ball that's the problem. Which is a bit hard when you're a footballer.
And it's a bit hard when we have 80% possession as well.
Yeah, that's another great point there, Simeon. But I mean, getting like what we saw in the Barcelona game, out of all the other defenders we've got at the club currently, apart from the starters, he's probably the best one for Ange's ball because of his pace and his power on the high line. So his recovery, tackling, his pace to get back into the situation is probably the best out of what we have. But when he's on the ball, it's blind panic. But he did do some good things today.
Ange was asked about Eric Dyer's absence from the matchday squad. He said, Eric is part of the team. We left a few out. We had a few not on the bench today that are very good players. Eric is the same. He works hard in training, but I'll pick the squad for any given game. What do you think about Dyer's absence? Is there more to it, or do you not? Maybe he's just not ready physically. What do you think?
Well, first of all, I thought it was inspired when we heard that there's no water there. So he could run off and take a dump. He would have been in trouble. But listen, we know as a fan base we need better defenders. We know where some of the weaknesses are in the team. And Ange Postecoglou has to make these decisions. And this time, it was Eric Dyer he left out. So it could be Manchester United. It could be another one left out. But rather than taking up a space on the bench and putting someone on that could impact the game, it's like, this game ain't for you, stay at home. And it's so refreshing to see. You look at it, we've had Conte, Mourinho, Nuno, obviously, well, Nuno is not even worth talking about, really, because he weren't here long enough. And Poch wanted to get rid of him. So they were all heavily playing him or had him on the bench. And I think it's refreshing that we got a manager that's doing that. And you got to remember, last season under the current manager, we had so many defenders on the bench. So many. It was ridiculous. It's refreshing to see that now he'll put a few defenders on and he'll put more on the attacking side to change the game. So it was unlucky for Dyer that was in this game. Obviously, we don't know if there's any correlation with what he did with taking Tottenham off his social media or whatever. That's all speculation, but we'll wait and see. But do you really think Dyer wouldn't have impacted this game in any way, size, shape or form? I don't think that would have made a difference. So stay at home, mate.
In terms of the last question I'll ask you, first game for Ange, with it being a 2-2 draw, and the performance level, do you come away with that positive or concerned with what's going to happen with us this season, or do you think it's like a good point and take the positives?
Mate, I'm looking at it the other way. Yeah, take the positives. Listen, Brentford, we haven't done well at. I think we've gone there now. I think we've been there and had 3 draws.
Yeah.
Or whatever it is. We haven't won. We haven't lost there. So Brentford is no easy place to go to. First game of the season. Having all the noise that's been around us for obvious reasons, a certain transfer that went through. This game and all the attention was on Ange, and obviously how are we going to cope without Kane? We've got away with a draw. We've had 81 possession in the second half, whatever it was. We played great football, created chances. It looks like there's something to build on, and now we just we move forward to Manchester United, and hopefully we'll get a player through the door before United that can help the team. So I'm taking the positives.